Now let's go to a kind of a crazy topic, and if you think this is stupid, that's fine. But Jadeveon Clowney is still a free agent. He's going to sign somewhere eventually. It's looking like he's only going to get a 1-year deal. And if that's the case, should the 49ers make a run, call the agent, and see if they can work something out? What do you think, Jack? Start with you.
I think they should. I think he'd be a great fit for them, especially with where they are right now on the edge. They need somebody better than what they have. So definitely bring him in. You know, he'd be great in their nickel package, sliding down inside if Ford and Bosa are both healthy. So I definitely think I'd make that move.
See, I think I would not bring him in just because I'd rather the Niners save that cap for a trade deadline acquisition like they did with Emmanuel Sanders last year. They might end up needing something with that money other than edge rusher. I think right now they can rely with what they have, at least for the first couple weeks. Maybe by week 4, if they realize that was the bad decision, then they can always trade for an edge rusher at that point.
Good call.
That's fair. Either answer is pretty fair at this point. You could say keep that money for other things, say let it roll over to next year with a much lighter cap space, or you could just go for it and just keep engaging with Jadeveon Clowney, which I think they should do. Like when this, I understand the big take on him is he takes plays off, but he knows what his market is now. This guy cannot afford to take any more plays off. And look at the defensive line around him that say he'll have Bosa, Armstead, D. Ford, DJ Jones, and whoever else, Kinlaw, on that line as well. So he can come to San Francisco, make a ton of plays, and just make that defensive line unstoppable. If D. Ford does have to miss a game, well, guess what? You have Clowney. If Armstead or whoever has to miss a game, guess what? You have Clowney there. So I think it just works out, and it's kind of – there's no reason they should just keep in contact with Clowney to continue to see where his price is at.
You know, you bring up D. Ford. I think that's the key point. You know he's not going to be 100% healthy really ever again. And you know he really needs to be kind of managed and be in a platoon, a part-time player, so he can be effective. So you know that about him. And then with Nick Bosa, I wouldn't say that you know that about him, but I think he's still a question mark. He was great last year as a rookie, but we know his history. We saw what happened to him at Ohio State and even in high school. So I think he's a little bit – the burden of proof's on him that he can play 16 games a year every year. So if you have injury questions at D end, why not bring in Jadeveon Clowney? You have $8.5 million in cap space. You can create another $6 million on Saturday by cutting Compton, Coleman, and Nzaucha. And it's like it's just a 1-year deal. I mean, Maverick, you're right. If you don't sign him, then you roll over that cap space to next year, and that's important. But on the other thing, I think what's more important is winning the Super Bowl this year. Yeah. Go all in. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are making every all-in move you can imagine. Mm-hmm. And the Niners are still kind of like straddling the fence. Like, yeah, we're a contender, but we're still planning, like doing the 5-year plan. So I'd like to see him go all in. Sorry about that, man. Let me get rid of that. Hold on. That's hilarious, by the way. Okay. And then the other thing from Clowney's perspective is like, yeah, you know he takes plays off. You know his body breaks down. I think that's why he takes plays off. His body can't withstand a full season, and he knows it. So if the option for him is go back to Seattle on your 1-year deal or call the Niners and see if they can give him something comparable, maybe a little less, I'd rather go for the Niners, even if it's less money, because I'll tell you why as soon as I let Jack hammer in, because you'll play less. If you go to Seattle, you have to play 1,000 snaps, and they're going to wear your body down again, and you're going to get to free agency next year broken down and not able to get a lot of money. You'll get more money if you're Clowney, if you're healthy, if you have a Super Bowl ring, and if you have a bunch of sacks. And I think he would get more sacks on this team because he'd be playing next to Bosa, Ford, and Armstead. I mean, you'd have to single block him. So I think from a business perspective, forget how much money you're going to get this year if you're Clowney, because you're not going to get a lot. It's a 1-year deal. Think about who sets you up the best to get paid next year. And it's the Super Bowl champion. It's the 49ers, and it's a team that can limit your workload. You don't want to go to a team that can make you play 1,000 snaps. That's not good. We saw how that worked out last year with the Seahawks. So, yes, sign Jadeveon Clowney right now. What are you waiting for? They should have done it this morning anyway.
If Jadeveon Clowney does go to the Saints, what does that mean for the 49ers?
It's not good. Look, here's why I look at it. If the Niners sign Clowney, they're winning the division and possibly the Super Bowl too, because then they can weather a month of D. Ford on the shelf or Nick Bosa on the shelf. Yeah, if they get him, but if the Saints get him, then because I think look at the Saints as one of the wild card teams. I think the Bucs are going to win that division, and I think the Saints are right there with them. So now you have another team that you're competing with in the wild card that has Jadeveon Clowney. What do you think, Jack?
I think it's going to be tough because you know the Saints. You're putting him on the other side. If that's where he goes, opposite of Cam Jordan as well. You know that's a heck of a pass rush potentially. For
also have Marcus Davenport.
Yeah, and that's kind of almost similar to what we've been talking about. Why the Niners should be getting him. Pretty much the same thing. So yeah, it would definitely make it even better.
It's interesting to see these teams make these all-in moves, and I feel like the Niners haven't quite done it yet. They got Trent Williams, that was great, but they haven't done anything like borderline irresponsible for just 1 year, just for the sake of going for it. And I would like to see them do it. Am I wrong?
No,
I think they should.
Yeah, they like to see the Saints do it.
I like to see the Niners make one all-in move. They got $8.5 million in cap space. What are you holding on to it for? To roll it over for next year? Win the Super Bowl now.
That's fair. Hey,
Win it.
We've been waiting a long time.
I mean, you don't have this window open indefinitely. It's not the NBA where as long as you have a top five player that you're going to be in it for 5 years, who knows what this team's going to look like next year. Win the freaking Super Bowl, sign Jadeveon Clowney, and make sure one of your rivals doesn't. But that's just me. I mean, I'm not Parag Marath, and he's been doing this a long time. And
See, I just like their roster flexibility or the cap flexibility where if they don't sign Clowney, I think they seem to be at least in-house happy with what they have. But if they lost another offensive lineman, if they lost wide receivers for an extended amount of time, if they had to make a move and go trade for someone like someone from the Jaguars, a team that would be or probably out of the playoff race by that point, they have that cap space where they can trade a conditional 5th or 4th round to go get that guy, expensive guy on an expiring contract.
I mean, all their rivals are making moves. The Vikings just traded for Yannick Ngakoue. It's going to make them a lot better. They're going to win that division. I just feel like of course, the Niners could use Jadeveon Clowney. He'd make any team better. But you're doing it not because you're desperate for Clowney. You're also doing it because you don't want the Saints to get him. You don't want the Seahawks to get him. I mean, you're trying. It's kind of that equation. But John Lynch is still he's sticking with that brick by brick.
Diana Rossini from ESPN said that the Saints and Titans are closing in hard on Jadeveon Clowney. So for the 49ers, they're playing blackjack. It's kind of, are you betting on red or black, saying you got to have the Titans sign him, because if the Saints sign him, then it's the same point as the 49ers. You're keeping Jadeveon Clowney fresh, and if Jadeveon Clowney's fresh, we all saw what he can do if he's fresh and motivated, and that's what the Saints can offer him.
Yeah, I mean, how much salary cap space do the Saints have? Let me look. Hold on, real quick.
Next year, they're negative. I know that much. Negative by a lot.
If you want to make it happen, you can make it happen. Let's see what the Saints got.
Oh, yeah.
They have less cap space than the Niners. The Saints have less cap space than the 49ers. They have $6.9 million in cap space. They're going to work it out. The Niners have $8.5 million and could create more. It's about wanting to do it. And look, John Lynch is probably right around the corner in his office. I should go over and tell him, enough with the bricks.
Just go nuts.
Put together a very nice foundation. Go win the Super Bowl, man. You're beyond brick by brick. Yeah. But he's gonna stick with what got him here, and I respect that. He's gonna be consistent.
The salary cap excuse is the biggest cop out that you have. You can make that. You have the money to do it. If you can make moves. The guys that you want to keep, you're going to keep. The guys you want to get, you're going to get. The fans get caught up in salary cap.
What if he doesn't even want to play for the 49ers? Marco Martinez says, well, why wouldn't he? I mean, is he crazy? Yeah. Is he dumb? I don't know. I'm sorry. But it's like a pretty good team, and it would help him. It would revive his career. It would give him the money he wants down the line.